Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Drink Like a Fish. I'm your host Brian Big Fish Ragland, and today we're going to try, I don't know, how about beer? Now, what kind of beer should we get into? Is it going to be some sort of crazy Bavarian, sweet water infused nectar of the gods, hard to find? You have to go to the back of the shelf and you got to know a guy who knows a guy who knows a person who pets a dog who gets you this crazy kind of beer. Or we are going to try something in our own backyard. I've seen it. I know that you guys have seen it out there. I'm not a beer snob. I'll try just about anything. And there's some sort of stigma attached to this particular brand. It is immensely popular. I would say a good amount of America drinks it. A good amount of the world drinks it. It has sponsorships everywhere. It's this huge conglomerate. It could be considered America's beer. And most beer snobs, beer nerds, beer geeks, I consider myself a beerist, usually turn our noses up at it. And we won't drink it or we won't buy it. There's something weird about being able to get a 164 pack of this particular beer for $6.99 or $9.99 maybe. But nevertheless, let's get into this particular brand. We're going to try Budweiser's American Ale. Now, I know what you're thinking. Budweiser, we've all had it. We've all drank a Budweiser at some point, either a Bud Light or a regular Budweiser. And it usually gets its association with NASCAR or beating your wife. But it really is a good beer, and there's really nothing wrong with it. So I'm really interested to try this American Ale and see what happens. So let's keep an open mind, shall we? Okay guys, here we have the Budweiser American Ale. Typical Budweiser fashion, they don't really have any descriptions on it. There's nothing to really say this beer is filled with this, or it comes from the Rocky Mountains, or this obscure place in these great United States. Basically all it says is Budweiser American Ale. It lets you know that there's alcohol in it, to be careful if you're pregnant, or if you're a dumbass and you drink a whole bunch of it and you drive, you're going to get arrested or kill somebody or kill yourself. That's about it. That's about the only warning it has on there, which is a good warning. I'm not besmirching that warning. It's well worth being on there. But most people, like I said before, they snub their nose at Budweiser, and I don't really understand why. There is a lot of beers out there to have. We have gotten into this mindset as a beerist, or as a lot of people out there that are into beer, that, oh, the Millers and the High Lifes and the Budweisers, that those are corporate owned and they're the man's beers, and we're going to go to this obscure place in America and we're going to get this microbrewery that's never been discovered, and it was first done by the Mayan Indians, and it's brewed out of ant thorax and drained through thistleberries. I don't really know what a thistleberry is, but I guess I just made something up. So if you're out there, thistleberry is mine. You can't have it. But anyway, Budweiser's been around forever. There is a Budweiser in Europe, and we're going to get into that at a separate date. There's nothing wrong with Budweiser. Budweiser's a good beer. It's damn near America's beer. And it's worth a try, and it's worth your respect. So let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open and see what we get into. You can drink Budweiser pretty much anywhere, anytime. That's the cool thing about it. There's really no variance between drinking Bud out of a bottle or drinking Bud out of a can. As long as it's cold, you're going to be good. Awesome. Alright, let's see how this pours. Okay, excellent. Let's go ahead and do the tail of the tape on this beer here. As you can see, it has a really nice color to it. It's a really nice amber color. It isn't too dark, which means it's probably not going to have a tremendous amount of variance to it as far as intricate tastes go. It's probably going to be a pretty straightforward pale ale. What we're looking for is we're looking for bitterness. We're looking for a little bit of hops. We're looking for some bite to it. Coming from Budweiser, I'm going to assume that it's going to have a nice crisp finish to it. I am hoping that they threw in a couple surprises here though. Okay, the only thing we have left is drinking the beer and tasting it. Prost. Okay, cool. As an ale goes, it's not very complicated. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have a lot of complex taste to it. It is good. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I do like this. It has a nice bitter taste to it, as an ale should. It shouldn't be very dry tasting. It should have a very bitter taste when it first hits your palate. Your palate. As the wine drinkers would say, which I'm not besmirching wine drinkers. I will be trying wine here eventually. But it also, it has something that I hadn't expected before. It has a nice sweet taste to it. Now it's not overly sweet, like it's a chocolate or full of sugar. It has a really nice after finish to it. It's not, man, it's hard to explain. And I'm going to go ahead and just take another drink. To try to decipher this Da Vinci Code of beer here. It has a little more malt than a typical ale does. This is not bad. This is not a bad ale. It has the bitterness that you want as far as an ale goes. If I were to give it a rating as far as ales go, I would give this one a 7. You could get away with it. There's nothing wrong. If your nose is in the air and you say, I would never drink Budweiser, grab an American ale. It's a good beer. Please keep your suggestions coming in as far as beers to try. Give me some testimonials about some beers that you have tried. Positive, negative reactions. I love it all. Looks like that's all the time we have for this edition of Drink Like a Fish. And let me check. According to the Palin teleprompter, mission accomplished. Good night, guys.